Stop scrolling. You found me. Hi, this is Eric T with the Eric T Conversation. Join me for some chit chat, some observation, and some good conversation. Check it out. Welcome to the Eric T Conversation. I'm Eric T. Well, today I was having a discussion with my buddy again, and he was telling me how his wife's got some great stories. He was telling me his wife was online at the store, and the new cash register opened up. I don't know if it was left or the right one, but he said the woman behind her decided to just take the next register. And so, as somebody who's been in the grocery business a long time ago, 12 years, I worked stock, cashier, office. I did all kinds of stuff with this company. I'm not going to say the name, but it's where shopping is a pleasure. You know what I'm talking about. Anyway, she was in line, so I know how the etiquette works. Who's in line, how it goes, which is the proper way to do it. So I started asking questions. I said, well, you know, what it was about the lady in front of her. He said, well, she was paying. I said, wait a minute. The lady in front of her was paying, cashing out, and the lady behind her took the register. He said, yes. And she was a little upset about that. I said, well, she was wrong. He goes, what do you mean she was wrong? I said, she's wrong. She's next in line for that particular register because a cash transaction was happening. So that means she's next. So why would you take the next register? He goes, well, the lady hadn't finished paying yet. I said, but money was out. It was about to exchange hands. That register was going to be open within seconds. So why would she take the one to the left or the right? And he said, what do you mean? I said, well, I'll explain to you because I've been in the business. So if there was somebody in front of your wife, and then your wife was in line, and then somebody was behind her, and the person behind her took the left or the right register, that's improper etiquette, and that's when you say something. But since somebody was not in front of her and she was next on line, there's no need for her to transition to another register. That's just the way it works. So he said, well, she was a little upset. I said, well, you got to tell your wife she was in the wrong. Well, you don't have to tell her she was wrong. You just got to tell her, you know, you were next. And that's the way it works. So that's how it works at a cash register. So if you have any other questions about that or concerns, and you have a comment which one you think is the right one, please comment below. I would love to hear your take on whether you think I was right or my buddy was right. Because I believe 100% if you're next in line for the cashier register and there's a cash transaction going down, you don't get to go to the new one. No. It's the person behind you gets that. But see, that's why I like self-checkout. You never have that problem. Unless, of course, you go to Home Depot and there's a left and a right register of rows of self-checkout. And if you go to the left side and you're on the left side, that's your line. You just created a line for that side. And if you're on the right side, you've just created a line for the right registers. I don't do that. I'm right in the middle. I sit right in the middle and people walk up. I'm like that. The line's right here. Starts right here. And I go this way or that way. So when you're at Home Depot, if you got a left or right register, you sit right in the middle because you don't want to give anybody an opportunity to cross in front of you like that. You don't want anybody to have that opportunity. So that's why I use the self-checkout. And I know people bitch about the self-checkout. And they're like, oh, well, you know, it just takes jobs away. Yeah, it takes jobs away. That's the way things are going, people. You know, if you don't work with your hands and build things or plumb toilets, or wire electronics together in houses, or put shingles on, you're going to be out of a job one day. So you need to reinvent the wheel. Reinvent the wheel. Listen, I used to work at the grocery store. I get it. Everybody wants to make $20 an hour. But now when you can sit a computer in front of you, let people do it all by themselves, because that's what I like. I don't like an interruption from anybody. And you always get those cashiers that come up to you, you know, the one that's got the little box in their hand just in case they have to fix something. They come out with their little cards. Zip, bing. They put their code in it. All right, go ahead, sir. You're good. They have one person there. Instead of 5, you've got one person handling all that because we're checking ourselves out at the cash registers. And I love it. I don't have any pressure. There's no stress. They come up to you, need anything? No, I got it. I come here 4 times a day. I know how to do this. It's not my first self-checkout experience. So I get it. $20 an hour. Sorry. They're going to get replaced. It's just going to happen. So start learning how to stock shelves or something. We ain't got robots for that yet. Not yet. But it's coming. It's coming. Anyway, make a comment if you agree or disagree on my friend's take or my take on whether or not his wife was right on complaining about being next in line. That's my observation of the day. Today is the conversation. Well, they got that guy who killed Brian Thompson, the CEO from UnitedHealthcare, and his name is Luigi Mangione. And they got him at McDonald's in Pennsylvania. Apparently somebody ratted him out. They saw him. They turned him in. And they got him. And when he gets there, the police get him out of the car, and he starts hooting and hollering. He's saying, like, it's completely out of touch and an insult to the intelligence of the American people. It's lived experience. I don't know what that meant, but that's what he said as he's handcuffed and getting taken out of a patrol car, and they're taking him to the courthouse for arraignment. So, and he's actually fighting extradition to New York City. I guess he's fighting it. So he has 14 days to write his habeas corpus, writ of habeas corpus, so he can try to stay and not go to New York. Which, by the way, buddy, you're going to New York. You're going to New York. Because after 30 days, the governor says, and you're coming anyway. And a couple of things that are really strange about this case is he wrote some things on the casing of the shell casings. He wrote words like, delay, deny, and depose on the shell casings of the bullets. I don't know why he did that. It's just kind of weird. Look, I'm not a big conspiracy theory guy. Okay, well, a little bit. I believe in some of them. But this is very strange. This guy had, so after they have the evidence. So number one, he had a fake ID that he used to check into the hostel in the Upper West Side of New York. They found that ID on him with the name that was used to check into the hotel. And all right, looks like you might have done it, right? They found 3D printers that printed. They found the gun, the 3D gun. They found the bottom of the gun. They found the 3D printer that was used to print these things. They also used a 3D printer. They found the silencer that was made with a 3D printer. Look, I don't know if you know this, but you can make some pretty cool stuff with a 3D printer. I know a guy. He's no longer with us. God rest his soul. But he made some cool things with a 3D printer, and you'd be shocked. You can make lowers of certain weapons. You can make anything with plastic that you can make that you can buy at a firearm store. You can make with a 3D printer. You can. So these were ghost guns that this guy had. Ghost guns are guns that are not registered. They're made at home. They have no serial number. Nobody knows you have them. And they're typically made on a 3D printer, or you pieced it together with pieces that you ordered online or from wherever. Okay, so he had a ghost gun. And they have that evidence as well. And I know what some of you are thinking. You might be happy this happened. You got to remember, this is a human being in a human life. And he was killed. The guy's got a family, he's got a wife, family he supports. So anybody happy about somebody like that getting killed, you should look inside yourself, because you're wrong about that. And they always wind up getting these crazy people. Look, okay, like I said, conspiracy theories are out there. It's very strange. This guy had a hoodie. He had a backpack. They always wind up getting these certain type of individuals, and they're going to find out that the FBI already knew about him. He was already on the radar, and they just get him. And so there's a lot of things out there that, if you ever heard of MK Ultra and things like that, mind manipulation, that stuff is real. You can look it up. Okay, you can look it up. MK Ultra was a CIA operation from the 50s into the 60s about trying to be able to control people's minds in order to influence them to do things they probably wouldn't do. Now, I'm not saying this is what happened with this guy, but it's quite convenient that they found him very quickly. Well, they were going to find him quickly anyway, because there's cameras all over New York City, and if you live anywhere in New York City, there's cameras everywhere. Like I said in the last show, they tracked him from A to B to Z, and they found him in a McDonald's. Somebody turned him in, and they got him. And pretty close to what he looks like. They caught him with the same stuff that he was wearing. He probably did it. Not saying he did, alleged, but he did it. So they have these things that can control your minds. It's out there. And I don't think they ever stop using that stuff. And there's a lot of people way up high that manipulate people to do things that you probably wouldn't normally do. So they're going to find out all this information about this guy. It's going to get swept under the rug. It's going to go away real quietly once he starts to go into courthouse. And then, poof, another week or two, you're not going to hear anything about it, because that's what they do. Now, they took this guy out for whatever reason. All I know is that the UnitedHealthcare stock has dropped $45 billion. Went down 8%. It's gone down 10% in the last couple of days. The stock has plummeted since the CEO was assassinated. I'm not saying there's a there, but that just sounds really strange. And all of a sudden, the CEO of this healthcare company gets shot and their stock crashes $45 billion. Anyway, look into it. There's some stuff there that you may want to know about. But there is mind control. There are people out there that get manipulated to do these horrific things. And you're like, wow, I never saw that coming. Yeah, you did, because he was on the FBI radar for a very long time, and they all knew all about him. Anyway, that's my conspiracy theory about this whole situation. The next couple of weeks, you're going to see things. The guy's going to be in and out of court, and and all of a sudden, poof, it's going to be gone. That's usually what they do with these things. And we still don't really know a whole lot about the guy that went after Trump, right? We don't really know the guy that was in the bushes for 12 hours. Poof, he's gone. The guy that was on the roof, poof, he's gone. Parents had a high-end lawyer that was representing him. A little strange. Anyway, that's my conversation of the day. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you got a couple laughs. Please make some comments about the cashier thing or your conspiracy theories about this whole shooting in New York City. I'd appreciate it. Again, like us, click on the like button, follow, subscribe on all the platforms. I really appreciate all the love. And join me next time for some chit chat, some observation, and a little conversation. Thanks.